14-year-old Bree Jones was the first student to lay eyes on Colt Gray, just moments before she says he began his deadly rampage.
Like, he knocked on the door. I went up, I saw him holding a bag and just pulling the gun out. I'm not sure what kind of bag was it, but I seen him pulling it out of a bag, and like, the gun was so big. Like,
Gray was her classmate, and their class the first he tried to enter, she tells CNN.
I always look out the door before I open it. That's just like, it's a habit my mom taught me.
But as her teacher instructed her to let him back in, she said,
I know he has a gun. If I would have opened the door, then like, he would have got every single one of us in that class. And I don't want me, my teacher, my friends in the class, and my other classmates, I don't want none of us to get hurt. So I just didn't go. Like, I thank God that I did not open that door.
Jones said Gray moved on to her sister's class down the hall.
Colt shot my teacher multiple times.
Malaysia Mitchell says she'll never be able to erase the image of her teacher, Richard Aspinwall, begging for help.
We had to drag our teacher's body and fully into the classroom. We heard him take his last breath.
Mitchell says she felt powerless.
I've been trained what to do, like give CPR and other stuff, but I couldn't because I couldn't help him. So I ended up having a seizure.
Man, you can hear the trembling in her voice. Man, my heart goes out to everyone affected by that mass shooting. Man, the first girl doesn't even realize that she's pretty much a hero. She really saved everyone's life. And for her to be able to talk about it says a lot about her character. But in today's headline, man, I think we got a spy on our hand. I think we might have a spy on our hand. As you see here, a former aide to New York governor is charged with being an agent of the Chinese government. How are we not talking about this? How is this not in headlines? How are we not letting the people know that? They're going to hide it as long as they can. And then they put a little small report out here. So when it does reach the masses, because you ever hear the saying, it's not your first time, it's just your first time being caught. Same thing here. This is not the first time. This is not going to be the first agent. This is just the first time that they've been, caught doing it. But let's take a look here.
Federal prosecutors say a former deputy chief of staff to New York Governor Kathy Hochul has been charged with acting as an undisclosed agent of the Chinese government. Prosecutors say Linda's son blocked representatives of the Taiwanese government from having access to high-level officials in New York State at the request of Chinese officials. The indictment also alleges she shaped New York governmental messaging to align with the priorities of China, among other infractions. Hochul's office says Sun was fired in March of 2023 after discovering evidence of misconduct. Sun held numerous posts in New York state government before rising to the rank of deputy chief of staff for Hochul. She also previously worked for former Governor Andrew Cuomo.
Yeah, that sounds like a spy to me. Why are we using the word agent? Why are we using the word agent? That is a spy. What are we talking about? She's doing things for the better interest of her country? That's a spy, bro. Nah. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get back in shape, Can't have this dad bod forever. But anyway, back to the story. You can't do this forever. All right? Let's see what information we can find out about this. Let's see what else we got going on.
Chinese government in exchange for millions of dollars in compensation and gifts. Linda Sun and her husband, New York Governor Kathy Hochul, has been charged with secretly acting as an agent of the Chinese government in exchange for millions of dollars in compensation and gifts. Linda Sun and her husband pleaded not guilty at a court in Brooklyn.
Oh, the husband
she was
involved
previously
too?
The deputy chief of staff to Miss Hochul and continued to work in state government until she was fired last year for alleged misconduct. Our correspondent Carl Nasman has more from Washington.
This is a pretty wild story here. Ms. Sun is essentially accused of being a Chinese spy and operating.
Thank you. Finally, someone has the gut. Who is this? I don't know who this is. Whoever this is. Oh, Carl Nasman. Thank you, sir. Why are we saying agent? Secret agent. She's a spy. What?
Within the state government of New York. She's facing 10 criminal counts, including visa fraud, including money laundering. Prosecutors say that a lot of her alleged activity within the state government really relates to Taiwan. So they say that she was changing documents, changing speeches to eliminate references to Taiwan in terms of what the governor was actually saying. She allegedly canceled meetings between the then president of Taiwan and the then governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo. So it's possible that a Chinese spy had access to some pretty high-level dealings, some pretty important foreign policy when it comes to one of the most important states in the country. So this was a lucrative business, allegedly, multi-million-dollar homes that the FBI raided, a Ferrari involved here, but really one of the most interesting details in this indictment is that the kickbacks also included a delicacy, a dish called Nanjing salted duck. This is a regional specialty in China, and apparently prosecutors say that she was given 16 meals of salted duck. These were...
First of all, duck is already salty. Let's get that. I've been to China. Duck is salty. Let's just get that out of the way. That was stupid.
Delivered, and they were prepared by a Chinese government's personal chef. So this was all done, you know, we were used to hearing about gold bars or money, but apparently this was kind of a delicious side benefit, a kickback of salted duck involved here. There is so much interest. This was leading really the newspapers and the evening news here in the United States. There's a lot of questions. They want to know.
It was not. It was not. That's the only thing that's bothering me about this whole situation is that unless you went looking for it, you cannot find it. This should have been world news. This should have been on every news outlet, every news app. The first, spy that we've actually got our hands on in a long time. If this is not the first. Have we ever actually captured a spy within our own government compounds? I don't know. I don't think we have. But this is not on every... It wasn't all over the news. I can't even talk.
How exactly this might have happened that an alleged Chinese spy could actually get this kind of government position for as long as you mentioned, more than a decade here. There are some calls for investigations. The top Republican in the state Congress wants to investigate this. Of course, we should say the governor, Kathy Hochul, she says that as soon as any allegations of misconduct were uncovered, that this woman was immediately fired and reported to authorities, and that's where this investigation and this eventual arrest came from. But
I mean, this is absolutely crazy. 10 years? They just said she worked there for 10 years and they just found out. You think she the first one? Nah, we slipping. We worried about weapons and guns and bombs. Meanwhile, she been in there for 10 years. 10 years. She's not the only spy. I'm telling you, mark my words. 5-10 years from now, when this is all said and done, it's gonna be about 2-3 more. And then you go come back to the channel because I'll still be here and subscribe, Lord willing. All right. But that's it for the news today, man. Y'all let me know your thoughts. Do you think it's more spies to be found, to be had? Let me know in the comments. Prayers go out to everyone that's affected by the Georgia school shooting. I'll see you next video.
I don't like this. I don't like to admit this. I don't like that this is a fact of life. But if you are a psycho and you want to make headlines, you realize that our schools are soft targets. And we have got to bolster security at our schools so that a person who walks through the front door... We've got to bolster security so that if a psycho wants to walk through the front door and kill a bunch of children...
On July 13th, 2024, at 6:11 p.m., the assassination of former President Donald Trump was attempted. He was guarded by the Secret Service. They couldn't even protect him correctly. And you want me to believe that adding 2 or 3 more security guards from Allied is going to stop mass shootings? For $15 an hour? That ain't it.